And we're back. What's up, everybody? Crazy hair Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful Corona-free day. Today is Friday, May the 20th at 6:11 in the afternoon. How are you doing? So, trigger warning. I'm going to talk about stuff that people might not like. No, it's not really that. It's just, you know, I'm really analytical, and I've been looking at a lot of problem solving as a whole for a lot of different things going on, not just personally, but kind of like the world and whatnot. And, you know, on one of my last posts, I had made the comment about, you know, how people always ask the question, why this? And I feel like that's the wrong question to ask. The right question to ask is how, because why is like the end of a formula. How is how you can fix it, how you can change it, right? But, you know, I did comedy the other night, and there was a certain point to where I had a problem and things weren't working, and then I realized the next important question to ask. So if how is like preparation, right? I feel like when it comes to problem solving, you should be asking when. And again, this is like I don't want to say diagnosis, but like, you know, being introspective and whatnot. But again, you can apply it to yourself. So if you want to keep listening, keep listening. So anyway, so what happened is that I always record my sets. A set is like what you call it when you go up on stage and stuff. And I wasn't really sure what to look for. And then I realized, like, just by listening, because I was like looking away for a second, when I started not doing well all of a sudden. And again, keyword when. And then I just started applying that question when to a broader aspect as far as like problem solving goes. And that was, it was basically really important to me, because I realized at that point it was one more key question that I could ask as far as solving a riddle of problem solving. So what I mean is that by asking yourself when a problem happens, if you analyze in that moment what's happening, was I looking somewhere, or were you distracted, or what was happening in that moment, you can analyze enough situations to where there's more than likely a common theme, a common trend, as far as when things go wrong. And when you can identify that, when, keyword when, you can identify that, all right, and you can find out what the problem is, then you can go about fixing it, and that goes back to the how. So again, it wasn't, I don't want to be too redundant and like speak in circles or anything, but I'm talking about a very specific example to a very general, broad aspect. Again, I always say it and I mean it. I'm very math-minded. I look at everything very analytically, and I've been doing a lot of problem solving, searching, not just for myself, but like kind of looking at the world differently a lot lately, in a really good way, like in a positive way. And you know, it started out with people asking why, and then I got granular with that, and I realized how is the better question, because how is like how to fix it. And then before the how is when. You need to identify when something goes bad. And this is in retrospect. Of course, in the moment, you have to be able to realize it. But in an equally important way after the fact, so that you can prevent it from happening again. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's it. That's all I pretty much got to say in a nutshell. But yeah, you know, I've been coming up with like a short list of ways to solve my problems. Again, not just specifically with comedy, but on a broader scale of all things. And that's why it goes back down to math again. I love math so much, because math pretty much presents you with like a formula, an equation that you can use for all aspects of life. You know what I mean? So maybe you're a football athlete or something like that, and something goes wrong. I think the first step before the how is the when. When do things start to go sideways? What happens? Is your girlfriend trying to call you or something like that? Is it with money? Is it with, what are these triggers? What are these triggers that start, and that is the really big important term, is that trigger. That's why I called it like trigger warning, right? But what are those triggers that happen that set things pretty much off to spiral out of control? If you can identify not just those triggers, okay, you can identify those triggers by analyzing when it happened. And when you identify the when it happened, then you can identify what that trigger is. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you have a lot of things going on, I can almost guarantee you with great certainty that whenever that trigger, that what happens, that one thing happens, there's probably a lot of things going on, but there's one thing that really sets things sideways. And if you can either remove that from your life entirely or mitigate it and put it to the side, or completely just, push it out of focus and just focus on other things, you will be more successful. I will be more successful. It is another key question, a part of the formula of problem solving. You know what I mean? So I guess that's like kind of a two-parter. You know what I mean? When things start to go sideways, followed by what happened, what went wrong, what was the trigger, and hopefully, more than likely, it's one thing that happens for many things. Very rarely does something actually not work out in a unique fashion that hasn't happened before in a similar way, even if it's a completely different circumstance. You know what I mean? So anyway, still working on all these formulas for success on multiple different levels, specifically and broadly at that. But yeah, that's all I got. Maybe, just maybe, I said something you can benefit from, and if so, everybody wins. And I know at the very least, me saying this out loud reinforces it for myself. So with that being mentioned, I hope everybody enjoyed this a little bit. Maybe you got something from it. With that being mentioned, I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. Peace.